Hey, good afternoon, guys. Farmer G here, back in Calgary after a little trip to the mountains. Just got back yesterday. I tried to get Norm to come with me, but he's in bed. He's tired from our trip home yesterday. So I asked him if he wanted to go for a walk, and he runs away and goes and lays in his little bed there. So I was just sitting getting some sun through my kitchen window, thinking about heading to the gym, and I was listening to the new Redacted with Natalie and Clayton Morris, and they were talking to Dane Wigington, and I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to play, I think it's a 12-minute long video, so I'm going to shoot a 12-minute long video while I walk around and show you. That's the guy that I saw flying by my window, fly by, and I'm gonna play that interview for you. You don't need to see it, you just look at it. I'll show you the headline and everything, and then you can go and look at it yourself on YouTube. But I was like, hey, I came back yesterday and almost all the snow is gone off the ground. I was like, wow, this is a really early spring for Calgary, February 26th. And we have no snow on the ground, and it's plus 12 today. I knew the nice weather was coming. It was in the forecast, but what I fear is they're going to hit us with a bunch of cold, and like they kind of invoke spring, and then they're going to hammer us again with another winter. We'll see if that actually happens or not. But yeah. You know, it's not good for our trees and everything to put them into spring mode and then hit them with a deep freeze again, right? So all this messing around that they're doing with the climate engineering is not good for us, right? Not good for the trees, the pollinators, and anything else, like I've said before. But here, I'm going to go for a walk around the block. I'm just trying to see it in terms of the skies. So there's a few chemtrails out there, but that one that they sprayed out there, you know, I took a weekend off, didn't film any videos while I was out in the mountains, but yeah, I see it, I saw it going on. I didn't talk to anyone about it this time, but yeah, I'm looking up in the sky, and same sort of thing we saw here a month ago was that silvery, hazy sky that's basically blocking out the sun. You know, and even with that, I'm still seeing, I was sitting in the hot tub and there's insects flying around. I saw a couple mosquitoes even. I couldn't believe it. February, and there's mosquitoes in the air in the mountains. So, like I said before, I think we should be in full-on spring mode. You know, and then they put us into this engineered winter, and now they're sitting here spraying again and again. This dog's staring at me. So, yeah, it's not good, guys. I'm just, so I'm going to play this video. Here it is here. Can you see that? There, that's better. So what does the title say? These chemtrails are out of control, and they're getting worse. With Dane Wigington, Redacted News. And this was posted, what was that, 15 hours ago, I think it says. So I'm going to play this and go for a walk around the block, and you can hear what they say.
Well, now that President Trump is vowing full transparency, Americans are demanding answers to all of those chemtrails across our skies. RFK Jr.'s former running mate, Nicole Shanahan, just posted this on social media. Watch.
I was spending the weekend on the internet. I've been surfing this morning and was watching the planes flying overhead, and then I couldn't take it anymore. But that is not a contrail. That looked like it started as a contrail maybe, and now it's turning into a cloud. See how thick that is? You can see this one is a little further behind.
That wind is coming through from her video now.
This one is the one that's been up there longest. They should have to end. This is ridiculous.
See that, guys?
It's like an otherwise perfect day.
This has to end, she says. Dane Wigington is the lead researcher and administrator for the website geoengineeringwatch.org. He's the executive producer for the groundbreaking climate engineering documentary called The Dimming. I encourage all of you to watch that film. Dane has devoted the last 20 years of his life to constant research on the issue of covert global climate engineering operations. And he joins us now. Dane, welcome back to the show. Great to see you. First of all, I just want to get your sense of where things sit right now. This has been a lifelong fight for you to get answers about this. You pointed out that these are toxic chemicals being sprayed. You have the film footage of these planes spraying these chemicals into the sky. It's in your documentary. Are you hoping that you're going to see some answers here under this Trump administration?
I was not holding my breath. And thank you, Clayton and Natalie, for your continued attention to this extremely dire issue that the vast majority still have no idea the gravity of. In regard to Nicole, I did interview with her, a 1-hour interview about 2 weeks ago. I'm hoping that gets posted soon. I'm very grateful to her for her attention on this issue. What have we seen since January 20th? We saw on January 21st the most aggressive chemical ice nucleation cloud seeding operations we've seen to date. That was the blizzards in New Orleans, Florida, parts of Texas, along the Gulf Coast. At the same time, there were blizzards there along the U.S. Gulf Coast. We had above freezing temperatures and rain in Alaska, Greenland, Iceland, Siberia, Moscow. Nobody reports on that. So these events, again, blizzards on the Gulf Coast with moisture from the record room Gulf of Mexico, this is not nature. It's chemical ice nucleation, cloud seeding, it's engineered winter, and these are patented processes, Clayton and Natalie. It's not nature.
Can you just break down what she means? What's a contrail versus a chemtrail? Are they the same thing, or is this vernacular?
No, they're not. What we see is a sprayed particulate dispersion. We're not guessing. Geoengineeringwatch.org and our groundbreaking documentary, The Dimming, over 25 million views on YouTube in spite of draconian social media censorship. We took a National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration flying lab, the top scientists in it to altitude, sampled what heavy aircraft were emitting, processed that sample at Rensselaer Polytechnic in New York. That's a world-renowned lab, found exactly what we knew we would find, climate engineering elements starting with aluminum. Again, this is a sprayed particulate dispersion. We have up-close photographs of these aircrafts at geoengineeringwatch.org. Nozzles visible, turning dispersions on and off. We have up-close photographs of the retrofit nozzles mounted on the wing pylons aimed at the exhaust jet stream to make this look like, quote, condensation. So, no, we are not seeing condensation. It's a sprayed particulate dispersion. We have film footage of it. End of argument.
Running your business can feel like a jungle, overwhelming and scary. But you just need the right tool.
Dan, you've been doing it. Contrails. She's talking condensation. That would otherwise be natural. And she says this is not natural. I get it now. I'm sorry.
Correct.
Go ahead. Okay.
So where are we then with this? We have so many people in our chat room that are just sick of this. They're sick of looking up into their skies. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, Dane. You've devoted your life to this. They're sick of seeing this. We have so many viewers who've written to us saying how sick they've become as a result of it. Can you talk about what sort of effect this is having on human beings? What this effect is having on our bodies? And then who the hell is doing this?
It's affecting virtually every living thing. Primary element in climate engineering operations and patents, aluminum nanoparticles. Bioavailable aluminum is toxic to all life forms, period. No exceptions. We are all sucking this stuff in with every breath we take. Clayton and Natalie, do you remember all the reports of it's ongoing, in fact, the fog and people getting... The fog? You guys probably saw that.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania, and during the atomic bomb, or even further? Or you're talking about recently?
Oh, this is right now. This is in recent months. We have extraordinary amounts of fog blanketing 10, 12 states at a time. Again, this is a result of chemical ice nucleation operations as well, because when you're creating a cold, dense, chemically induced layer of air at the surface, you're going to expand any kind of fog layer that's there, and that's exactly what's happening. It isn't just fog in this fog, and people are getting sick, and that's not their imagination. Again, we're testing precipitation, so we know that we have aluminum, barium, strontium, manganese, polymer fibers, surfactants, graphene. All of that is in our rain, which means it's in our breathable air column. Those are all climate injury elements. And Clayton and Natalie, have you seen how many massive 100-car pileups we have now every time there's a frozen precipitation event? You guys noted that?
I haven't been, I mean, I see, postings on X, and I haven't accounted for them, the quantity. So you're saying the quantity of these pileups has skyrocketed as a result?
Yes, as has massive hail events. Now we have hail that's baseball and softball size all the time, destroying cars, solar fields. So on this slick material, surfactants are used in this mix. They're in the patents, and the stated purpose is to keep these particles from coagulating together and descending more rapidly. Surfactants are what makes soap soap. So now we have what amounts to soap-soaked snow. It's unimaginably slick, and anybody who's grown up in snow knows the difference in composition in this super slick, what amounts to soap-soaked snow. So again, they're not only making the frozen precipitation, all precipitation, toxic, but now there's many other dangers that come with that. And there's so much contamination in the rain, it's changing soil pH values. In our case, in Northern California, and I have the USDA baselines from the 40s, I'm not guessing, got that from a contact at USDA. So much toxic material is coming down our rain that it has escalated soil pH values here in Northern California 10 to 12 times toward alkaline. Nothing is growing here. Soils are completely sterilized. There's no decomposition on the forest floor, and we're breathing all that.
So we have people in our chat room saying, let's see, Philly Vortex is here coding on the cars. Someone else from Fresno saying, Fresno used to be the breadbasket of California. No longer the case. Soil's being destroyed.
So after watching your last bit on Redacted, I don't let my daughter eat the snow that just falls. Like, can I eat the snow? No, you cannot. I want to ask you, if you don't mind, where would we begin if we wanted to get real answers besides your independent work? But where would we begin to get answers from the government and make this stop? Or is it because it's too many tentacles?
The only way this stops is when we reach the pitchforks and torches moment, the proverbial pitchforks and torches moment, when people realize they are literally fighting for their lives right here, right now. If we have soils that don't grow food, and we have our own personal health that's deteriorating by the day, we're not going to be fighting anything for much longer. Bottom line, this will take everybody sharing credible data from a credible source. Geoengineering Watch strives to be that source. We don't say it if we can't back it up. And the bottom line, people ask why. Again, they ask why over and over. Why would they do this to themselves? Natalie and Clayton, you've heard that question asked probably, right? Why would they do this to themselves?
Yeah.
Right.
So on that most important question, we need to consider what they have done to themselves already. Detonation of 2,400 plus nuclear bombs, which contaminated everything on planet Earth, including and they ultimately is those who print the money. That's who's running the whole show. Political strikes are not something that can stop this. I don't care what side of the fence it's on. It's only ramping up again. In the January 21st New Orleans blizzard was evident of that. They're not going to stop these programs. And we have nuclear everything, Fukushima, triple nuclear meltdown, no technology to fix it, no end in sight. That will be an ELE extinction level event. If we can't figure out a way to stop that, we have 442 more new plants still online. We have 60 more being built. The proverbial those who print the money, are power addicts. It's like a cancer. Does a cancer intend to kill its host? No. The cancer intends to proliferate unchecked until the host dies. And the stated purpose for these programs, so your listeners know, Natalie and Clayton, is solar radiation management, stratospheric aerosol injection, cloud albedo enhancement. It's important to use the science terms when introducing this issue. The chemtrails term, if people Google that, go straight to conspiracy theory and hoax. That doesn't help our cause. Stick to solid facts. But even though they state this as some sort of benevolent way of cooling the planet, it's doing exactly the opposite. It's destroying the planet's remaining life support systems and contaminating everything in the process. And we know it's being used as a weapon because we see systematic targeting of agricultural regions. Flash freeze, flash drought, flash flood. There's no question this is being used as a covert weapon of the controllers.
Wow, so many people in the chat are just saying, who is doing it? And I think you answered a big piece of this, the manipulation to darken the earth, basically, here. But who would be behind this? I mean, I heard Julian Assange say something a couple of years ago, and it stays with me, Dane. And I think as we look at the FBI and the CIA right now and who's doing this, the only way we get a change is to, as you say, pitchforks. Overthrow these people, take it over. And you would think now we have these people in Washington, D.C. We have President Trump there. We have these other groups there. We have these other individuals who are ready to throw it out. Do you think there's an appetite for them to do it, to really look this in the face?
in mind, what we saw the day after January 20th was a radical ramp up, the most aggressive chemical ice nucleation operations we have seen to date in the United States. In fact, so much so that there is international reporting on the fact that for the entire month of January, the most anomalously less warm region in the entire world was the United States of America. These flash freeze cool downs where temperatures can drop 50 and 60 degrees in a day. That's not nature. That's a chemical cool down. These are patented processes. Again, as far as those controlling everything, Clayton, Natalie, those who print the money control militaries, thus they control countries. And that's the bottom line. The last person to actually draw a line in the sand was John F. Kennedy. He didn't live long after that. So again, I think it's important we understand that we are the ones we've been waiting for. Us, all of us. All of us are needed in this battle. All of us are spokes in this wheel and needed and necessary to make it roll. If we're going to bring this issue to light and to a halt, it's going to take all of us. And I did interview with Robert Kennedy. He did a 1-hour interview on me. That's online on geoengineeringwatch.org. And we were scheduled for a second interview the day his mom died. That's unfortunate because that interview will probably never happen at this point. So it's up to us, all of us. And we supply information at geoengineeringwatch.org. We are non-political. We don't advertise or sell, and we pass on printed materials for less than our cost of producing and shipping. Our mission, my only mission, to see this insanity in our skies exposed and halted once and for all before there's nothing left of the planet's life support systems or our health.
Dane Wigington, he's doing God's work. I hope everyone goes over to geoengineeringwatch.org and check out everything that Dane has been doing with his team to expose this. Again, geoengineeringwatch.org. We'll have it linked up. Dane, thank you for jumping in on this story. We'll keep our eyes on it, and please come back anytime.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Clayton. I very much appreciate your voice.
Hey guys, Grant Cardone here. For the last 10 years, I've been running what is today's largest, most successful business.
Well, there you have it, guys. Not much more I can say to add to that, but you can see that it's not going to stop until we make it stop. So it's going to take each and every one of us to get out there and raise hell about this, guys. All right, keep your eyes in the skies, guys. Try not to breathe in all those SAIs. Farmer G out. Love you all. Stay safe.